niggas ask me who's the top dogs for my era, I will always say
Marquis Cook definitely.
It was Gilchrist, Cook, and Vernon. Like hands down, like everybody else is under that.
Let's pay homage to who?
Like there ain't too many niggas I ever said was
Bro,
like, you know, when you in the competitive
when you in it, yeah.
Gilchrist was the first nigga I ever said in life. I was like,
yeah, he nice.
That nigga nice.
Yeah, like in the middle of the game.
And you know, like I said, I moved around a lot. Sometimes, I had never said a nigga. I was like, this nigga nice.
You gotta get it to the nigga.
And then the only time I ever felt, even then, I was like, I don't think he better than me. You know what I'm saying? Just how, you know, that's how I go. You know what I'm saying? But only nigga I ever met in high school, dog. I ended up meeting. I seen him. We was playing AAU. The only time I ever said that nigga better than me was LeBron. 02. That was the only time I seen that nigga. I was like, this nigga good. We had watched that game. We ended up losing the team from Kansas. And I was like, nah, this nigga good. That was the first time I ever felt like, nah, that nigga better than me.
What about Marquis Cook? How you feel about Marquis Cook?
Cook, I always tell, I was just talking to Jason about that shit. Like Cook, like at the end of the day, like Cook was the guy. Like we both graduated 04, you know what I'm saying? So even if personally, you know what I'm saying, you know how I go, like you feel like you better, you know what I'm saying? But just being real, you know what I'm saying? Like
that nigga's nice.
Yeah, he was the nigga ranked, you know what I'm saying? ABCD camp. He was ranked higher than Rondo. You know what I'm saying? He went through some situations, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he around the way niggas, so he went through some situations.
He was too hood for certain shit. He was supposed to be McDonald's.
At the little camp joint. So
like, for real,
Rondo took his spot. Cook, I will forever give homage to Cook. Niggas ask me who's the top dogs for my era, I will always say
Marquis Cook definitely.
It was Gilchrist, Cook, and Vernon. Like hands down, like everybody else is under that. You know what I'm saying? You got layers to, you know, where niggas is at. You know what I'm saying? And it's at the end of the day, it's just an honor to be on one of the layers. Like it don't even like
it don't matter, right?
Because it's still a small group.
Oh, y'all
it's
niggas
still 25, 30 niggas, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas was hooping in the 757.
That's why I like to see Frank. To be real, like I remember that nigga. Like when he was saying he was like bro was garbage, bro. No bullshit, Trey. To see that nigga get to there, like that shit was crazy. Like, bro.
I didn't even
that
know
shit was crazy.
I didn't even know Frank like that. But I had came home and seen the game, and then I was like, he got potential, and then but I was like, nah, you know how I go. You like, nah, but he ain't, because you know you ahead. I'm like a sophomore in college. I'm like, nah, but for real, he should be better than that.
Nah, hell yeah,
right?
Yeah, everybody said that.
Then I came back through. Senior year, I was like, all right, then he went to ODU. Now I went to ODU game. I saw this nigga arrived.
That nigga got right.
I was like, this nigga arrived. I was like,
the
one thing about me, I'm gonna applaud. I'm gonna applaud all hoopers, dog.
That nigga was bullying niggas. I was like, boy.
Nah, that nigga. I went to ODU game. I said, yeah.
Then when they get to the tournament twice, like that shit be real. Like that shit, I was like, man, that shit. Damn. Hey, bro, I came to the tournament. I meant to say that on the show. We meant to talk about that shit on the show. Like I ride to the nigga room. Like when they play Butler.
What, like 08?
Nah,
he right behind Ben.
Nah, so they the same year. They the same year.
So he 06.
Yeah. Ben just went to that Hargraves.
Yeah.
Frank Red shirt, so y'all.
Yeah, and they end up starting in 07, 08.
Yeah, freshman. Yeah. And then Derrick James came over there.
During that time, when I was in JUCO, ODU was recruiting me. I was like, ain't no need for me to go there. For one, I ain't want to go to school and come home. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, ain't no need for me. And I ain't want to go there. Like, for one, I don't want to compete with one of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you would have fit right in though.
Yeah, but I ain't want to compete with Ben. Like, you know what I'm saying? Us take each other minutes or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, nah. Plus, I ain't want to come home, dog. I ain't know
some niggas couldn't have been out there.
I don't know if I could have stayed at home and went to school.
It was tough for Ben. So I gotta get Ben out here because I don't think Ben graduated at the end of that shit.
Nah, so what happened? Like you know, Ben like the whole Finney, and that's like family.
Yeah,
he had to he ended up graduating.
Yeah, but he had to go back.
Yeah, he ended up going back.
I remember that shit.
But that's another thing to talk about. Like a lot of niggas, man, I know a lot of niggas that I went to school with that played the hoop that never got a degree, dog.
That shit be real.
Like
niggas get lazy in that freshman senior year thinking they gonna goddamn get that money and do this.
They just get enough to be eligible to play. But then, you know, we grew up with that hoop dream that we all want to go.
You thinking they gonna call you, huh?
And then you don't go. Now the reality hit, like, what you gonna do with life? Yeah. Like, that's part of my whole journey now, trying to teach the young kids, like, yo, we student athletes. Like, now I get it. We student athletes, dog.
Right.
We gotta have a plan, dog.
You're not just that, bro.
Yeah. Only 1% of niggas go to the league. even with D1, dog, only 1% of high school basketball players
going
ever
there,
go D1.
Going
dog.
D1. I know a nigga right now who was a top nigga over here in Virginia last year.
Yeah.
And they IA. I be telling
So
niggas.
it don't even matter if you went to a low D1, dog. If you went D1, you different.
Right. You different, bro.
Like,
you gotta know that.
If you went D1, you different. Even if you went to Norfolk State, Hampton, you different, dog. And if you went D2, you still layers ahead of people, man. Only 7% of people, high school players, go D2. So it's like you gotta go to college, dog. Yeah, we got that dream, but what you gonna do? That's why I teach the kids now. I'm like, yo, like go to school, just use that joint to get your degree, man. Because at the end of the day, it's a small chance. Like, that was the way out. Like even with my career, like with me signing the contract to go to Iceland and then never even being able to play because I tore my rotator cuff. And then, I'm saying, I started having injuries after that. Then I was like, yo, is God telling me something, yo? Like, I didn't have my first injury till I go D1. Then I end up having to leave there, go D2, have another injury, overcome that, get an agent to sign me. He find a country. I go out there preseason, tear a rotator cuff. They send me back, replace me with a dude look just like me. Drop me off at the airport. He coming. I look at him. I'm like, nigga, we related? Nigga 6'4", beard, brown skin. Look like he played the 1 through 3 just like me. And then I was working at the school and I realized, I was like, yo, is God telling me? I failed the physical, then failed the physical again. Then I was like, yo, God telling me something. Then I was like, yo, I'm done with basketball because I like what I was doing. I was teaching. I was doing mental health on the side. Then I was like, yo, I'm done. And then, dog, I never had another injury. That's why I'm so nice now. I'm preserved. Real talk. Because I was supposed to hoop for overseas for like 10 years. Yeah. But instead, I end up
Marcus Allen.
Yeah, I end up creating a career in human service.
Do niggas know about that Marcus Allen shit though?
Not for real.
Bro. I didn't even know.
Most people don't.
I didn't know though. Marcus Allen was, with the Raiders and shit.
Yeah, and the Chiefs.
But Al Davis set that nigga down for about 5 years, bro.
He was like in the form of Ali, like he missed his prime. But he still was great. Marcus Allen
and came back with the Chiefs and was running that shit for about...
He was like 33.
Till he was like 37. I did not know that shit,
I was
bro.
a kid. That was my like 10.
He was in crazy shape like you, bro.
10 like through 15 years
old. Like, bro, and he was telling the Chiefs like, yeah, I'm good. I'm in shape. Like, I ain't playing fight, bro. That nigga brung in Bo Jackson. That's when Bo Jackson came to the Raiders. Goddamn, Eric Dickerson. That nigga brung in, bro.
Al Davis was that guy.
He was like, they said he fucked his daughter or some shit like that. Marcus Allen had fucked his daughter or some shit like that, bro.
That shit.
And the nigga set it blackball that nigga for like 4-5 years, yeah. And nigga still ended up rushing for like 13,000 yards and shit like that.
You know who's underrated, who people don't really talk about for the running back joint? Who was nice, dog?
Who that?
OJ, dog.
What?
Not
Don't think about what he did.
OJ arguably.
I saw that shit.
Even though Barry the GOAT, OJ arguably the GOAT. You could say OJ the GOAT, like for real.
I was watching that shit.
OJ is the GOAT.
Man, that nigga juice.
Bro, that nigga
OJ was
when
nice.
I saw them highlights, I said
OJ was nice, dog.
That nigga used to run that shit like, oh my, you couldn't touch him. The way he was running, like that nigga was not.
He had size too. And
that nigga was big, bro.
Yeah,
but he could break away. You talking about
something about Barry, dog.
Nah, that nigga.
Barry.
Think if he had a line.
Yeah,
that's all.
But you know what's crazy about even with my life growing up, like all that moving, the places I was at certain times, like
you felt like
I was in Detroit when they was back-to-back champions. I was in Detroit when Chris Webber called the timeout. Like so all my first teams is I like the Lions. I was going to Barry Sanders games. You know what I'm saying? I like the Lions. I like the Pistons, Michigan. But that was just because everybody around you liked them. You know what I'm saying? Then when I got about 11. I was like, nah. Matter of fact, we was in Detroit. We went to a Lions game, and they played the Packers. Yeah. Brett Favre had a game-winning joint, right? I looked at my family. I said, shit, nigga, I'm fucking with the white boy. I'm a Packer fan. I've been a Packer fan ever since. Nigga, Brett Favre, I seen that shit. I said, I ain't no Lions fan. I'm a Packer fan. And then I was in Houston when they won they back-to-backs. I'm a Knicks fan. Like, I remember that shit like yesterday, dog. They beat my Knicks, dog. I was crying and everything.
Who?
When the Rockets beat my Knicks.
Oh.
But I was in Houston. Like that's why I say it'd be like my whole life journey. It should be crazy when I be having stories for everything.
Y'all, what's up with it, young world?
Look, man, it's Frank Lou here, man. I need y'all to do me a favor. Grab your phone and then go to the YouTube app. All right, at YouTube, hit search and type in "Must Achieve Greatness." All right, "Must Achieve Greatness." If you don't know how to spell it, ask Google or Siri. They got you. Look, once you go onto the page, go ahead, hit the page, hit the link, go ahead, hit subscribe, man. Like all that king shit we got going on there. All right, y'all stay tapped in with the king, man. Holla at me.
They telling you, you got to go to JUCO now. Mm-hmm. So what's the decision? Which school you leaning toward?
I end up choosing Montgomery Tacoma Park in Maryland.
That's the only one you had?
That's just the one I chose because they were closest to DC. Like I said, I was looking for a different world, so the coach took us on Howard campus. I said, yeah, I'm going here.
You were looking for a good time.
Yeah, we was. Our apartment was like 2 minutes from Howard, so we was on campus with our book bags every day. We went there.
Fronting and everything.
Man, listen.
I'm a bison. They like,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You a motherfucking Tacoma Park warrior.
Yep. On the yard.
How was that going there? You know what I mean? And then, who was the coach?
Daryl Butler. He actually from Suffolk, but he had was coaching at Pepperdine and then moved back to the East Coast and got the JUCO job. So he ended up recruiting like 9 freshmen and 1 sophomore. The year before I went JUCO, they had went like 3-23. And he recruited us. He sold us on, you know what I'm saying? He was a good dude.
Something different.
Yeah, and I rocked with him, so that's why I chose.
How was that playing with him that year? How y'all feel?
Shoot, we went from 3-23 the year before we ever came to 22-11. Went to the Nationals. Was ranked in the top 20 in JUCOs.
Now, how was that experience?
Now, it was great. That was the first experience where I realized, like, yo, like, I'm really trying to go D1 then.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yo, I'm going, because even that we went to the Nationals, I had a whole bunch of D2s and some low D1s, and I was like, yeah, D1 I could do. Mm-hmm. So I ended up redshirting the next year.
Okay. Yeah. So what it was looking like on the D1 scale?
I had Stony Brook, little schools like
Brooklyn,
that.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
What's Staten Island, excuse me.
Yeah, Manhattan. And like a lot of D2s at that time. So that's when my coach was like, we want to redshirt you.
Right.
And it was like, so I used that year. That's the year I really transformed my body. And I got down to about 225. So now I'm a 6'4", 225 guard. That's a little more approachable. And I got a resume, All-American. I was end up being a JUCO All-American sophomore year. Top 20 in points, scoring, rebound. I was the only player, 20, 10, and 6, 2 steals. Had like 35 D1 offers.
Dang.
So that redshirt year, put in all that work. And even then, so what's crazy is my pops was clean during those years. And then the year I redshirted, he relapsed. So even when I'm in school hooping, I'm working at UPS from like 12 to 5 and still going to school, still doing practice. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, I got to go D1. I need the scholarship.
Yeah. God damn. So what what school you got 35 D1s now?
Yeah, I had Youngstown State. I'm just going to tell you about my 5.
Yeah, what's the one that you
I visited Youngstown State, Boston University, LaSalle, UMBC, and what was the other one? At Stony Brook.
And why were these the 5?
What they were looking for, playing time, school resume, and I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm a Portsmouth dude, man. Like, it was about the jerseys in the arena. Like I needed my name on my back. All the schools I went to, we ain't never had no name on the back. So it was like, that's something I'm looking for. The colors, wrong stuff at the time, you know what I mean? But those are the 5.
So who ended up catching your eye? Who was the one that?
Youngstown State, because of their playing schedule. So the plan was like, I'm just trying to go overseas. My coach is like, the best way you go overseas is by who you play. So Youngstown, their schedule, their first game was versus number 1 team, UCLA, with Westbrook and Kevin Love. Played Michigan, Michigan State, Pittsburgh, South Florida, Notre Dame. We was in the Horizon League, so we played Butler twice. So I said, this is...
You even played at Cleveland State?
Yeah,
played Norris Cole.
Norris Cole was there. Yeah, Norris Cole was there. So, you know what I mean? Oh, you know something with Cedric Jackson.
Yeah, I remember Cedric Jackson was there.
He was nice.
Nice point guard. Yeah.
So that's why I chose Youngstown.
Yeah. And how was that, getting there and then you in the Horizon Conference, bro. That's one of the top mid-major conferences, bro.
Man.
Did you know that at the time going in?
Yeah, actually, that was another reason because we was actually ranked. The Horizon League was ranked higher than Conference USA at the time.
Yes, it was.
So it's 30 D1 conferences, 1 independent. So Horizon League was like number 5 after the ACC, Big 12, Pac-10. What's the other one? Was it SEC? That's SEC. Oh yeah, SEC. And then it was the Horizon League. So that was like, yo, this resume, all this. I definitely.
So it was over Atlanta 10 at the time.
Yeah, Atlanta 10, all of them. Conference USA, CIA, they was ahead of all of them. Because they had Butler, they had
Detroit was in there.
Detroit,
Cleveland
State, then Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Bruce Pearl was the coach.
Bruce Pearl was there
before he went to Tennessee.
They was going to the tournament.
Yeah,
they went to the tournament.
You had Wright State. They was going
Wright State was all right.
So you know what I mean, like it was a deep conference.
Yeah, oh definitely, yeah, competitive all around the board. So you get there, and what is the coach? What is your role?
My role, I was recruited as a scorer, and then I got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Went through a little injury thing that ended up transpiring why I ended up transferring. But so I had to figure a way how I'm gonna get in this rotation. So that's why I tell all the players that I train now, like when you get to college, especially D1, everybody was nice. Everybody was first team high school conference. So it's like, it ain't like high school. You got to figure it out. Like, so when you get an injury, it's like, yo, how am I gonna get in the rotation? So now I went from starting to like, you got to figure your way into the second team. So then I figured my way in the second team, and then I I showed them I could play defense. And then I became our go-to defender. And then that kind of changed the trajectory of my college career. Because, you know, defenders don't get credit.
Right. Oh,
but I got credit. You know, I made second team Horizon League defense. You know what I mean? And I checked the best player. If he was the 1 through 3 best player on the team, that was just that Eastern District in me.
Yeah.
So I got heart. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm like we grew up in Portsmouth, man. I could check anybody.
Right.
So I checked Westbrook, Drew Neitzel, even Harrogony. Like even when you play UCLA, I checked Kevin Love for the last 5 minutes because he got all our bigs in foul trouble, and I did better than them. You know what I'm saying? So. That was the part of being a 4 in high school. Yeah. It's like, nah, I'm gonna front you the whole time.
Right.
Working harder than because I'm smaller. The bigs want to get behind him like Kevin Love torched him 20 and 10 in the first half.
Oh yeah.
All our bigs in foul trouble.
Yeah, he gonna do some. Yeah. And we all know Kevin Love.
Especially that was big Kevin Love too.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, he wanted no type of shit.
Yeah.
He was
back to the basket.
Your ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on
he put you in the rim, pump fake,
and he could shoot it.
Yeah.
So how many years you give Youngstown State?
Just one.
1 year?
Yeah, I had with the situation with the injury and the way they kind of things played out, I just had to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up transferring to Elizabeth City State because I couldn't go to another D1 because I had already redshirted.
Use all eligibility.
So I had to go D2, and I had a whole bunch. Once they found out, they put me in the transfer portal. Man, I had about 40 D2s called.
Everybody.
But you know a story that I never told. I don't tell people outside close to me. So this is wild, right? When I put my name in the portal, everybody knows. So Youngstown State football was like, we heard you play football in Virginia. Like, you know, we watched you play basketball. Would you be interested in just switching sports? And then you could play 2 years.
Damn.
And I was like, I don't know. I want to go overseas. You know who the coach was?
I know Jim Tressor at that time.
Yeah, it was Tressor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So even then, even though I'm a hooper, hooping was my heart. Like, football was my calling, though. Like, just an athlete, you know what I'm saying? But I had plenty of situations where it's like, yo, you chose the wrong sport. But what's crazy is, guess who told me that my whole life? My mom.
For real? She want to see you on the field?
She always said, you need to play football. Like, even when I was in Houston, not to go back, but when I was in Houston, I was number 7 in the city before I came to Virginia in football.
What position?
Tight end.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was catching that shit.
Yeah, but in at that time, I tight end, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker.
Whatever they need.
I'm a basketball player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Same shit. Took the same mentality.
Football was easy.
So, Elizabeth City State, how'd that go? How you do that out there?
Man, it was great.
CAA.
Yeah,
CIAA.
CIAA, you know, the year I transferred, we had the CIAA Player of the Year, Ant Hilliard. We had like 4 D1s transferring. So we ended up going 21-6. Led was like number 4 in the nation in like attendance.
You were there, Quentin Spade was in there?
Nah, they behind me. Yeah, they like 2 years behind me.
Okay.
So yeah, Quentin and Blake and all them. So yeah. But we ended up losing in the conference finals. just because we was the 1 seed, so we had to sit 2 games. Virginia State just called us, and we beat them twice. Hard to beat a team 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
But they had already played 2 games, and we had a bad first half. Came back second half. If we'd had 2 more minutes, we'd have won. So, you know, it's the stories that haunt you your whole life.
Yeah. Now, how was it going down to Elizabeth City State? You know, you had to see CIAA, and, you know, that's Black Historical.
Yeah.
You get you get to find a Whitley out there. How was it?
Yeah, Elizabeth City was great, but you know what I'm saying? It's not the Howard, the A&T, but, you know, it's Viking pride. Like, it was great. It was a great experience for me to experience JUCO, a PWI, and an HBCU.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had all phases of colleges, but it's not like being around your people. You know what I'm saying? And all of us was trying to achieve a goal of graduating college. At the same time, when I graduated was when Obama became president. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to be around your people. I choose HBCUs over anything.
Right.
So if I could go back, I would have just went to Union.
Straight off.
And then I would have had a national championship too. So that's what we was talking about earlier.
What up, Vinny?
Yeah.
That's all right, yeah.
If I'd have known I was going to go D2, I should just went to Union from freshman year. I tell the kids that now. Don't worry about the school name. Go somewhere and build a career. You build a career, you got a better chance of going overseas anyway, no matter where you at.
Right.
My man, Ant Hilliard, for Elizabeth City, 2-time CIAA Player of the Year, built a career. He been overseas 13 years. You got dudes that play D1, ain't been overseas 1 year.
Come on, man.
So it's about building a career, finding somewhere that wants you, that you fit in, that you could build something from freshman to senior year. So if that's the one thing I could take back, I would probably go D2 from the jump. Instead of trying to go on a journey, I was just wasting time. So I could have been Union, probably could have had a career, finished with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, national championship. I might have got jersey retired there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it.
Would you say go to the go where you
want it.
Right, celebrate and not tolerate it.
Yeah, go where somebody that wants you, where they're recruiting you, they're calling you during the week. Don't just go for the name. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times we going for the name rather than the best fit.
Right.
And focusing on D1. But now, man, you go overseas anywhere. But it's always been like that. Rodman, Scottie Pippen, like, if you can hoop, they're gonna find you. So
what would you say is the biggest misconception with that? Trying to go D1.
That if you go D1, especially from our era, even before your era, my era, seriously, like, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, like, if you go D1, that's the best chance to go to the NBA overseas. If you go to the PWI, you got a better shot of going overseas or the NBA than going to a HBCU. So we still seeing it with Prime in them, so it ain't nothing changed in both sports.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the next step after Elizabeth City State? You know, are you thinking, what you thinking? I know the NBA, you know, that's far from
the NBA, I ended up having like a little workout with the Bobcats, but that was more so set up with the agent just to build your resume. So everything is about a resume, so when he reports this to a team, like, oh, he had to work out with the Bobcats. So even with the Bobcats, Steph Curry had to work out with DeJuan Summers, and then Ryan Scott, Dennis Scott's son. So it was just something for the resume, and then I end up, my agent signed a contract with Iceland, and then I go out there, never make it past preseason, tear my rotator cuff, and I get shipped back. Then the injury bugs start happening for a couple of years, and then I just said, this ain't my calling. Because I started working, started teaching mental health. Then I had an agent hit me up. He was like, well, we got a team that wants you, no matter what. I was like, how much they paying? He was like, 35. I'm like, well, I'm making like 78 right now. You know what I'm saying? I like what I'm doing. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I'm done. I just never had an injury again. And then I built my career.
Right.
So that's how we are today.
So let's talk about that, man. You finding that, you know, another love outside of the hoops. You know what I mean? But you still take the hoop mentality to what you do. Let's talk about, you know, the things you do outside of, you know what I mean?
So sometimes in life you realize that your circumstances and the things you go through is what builds what's meant for you. You know what I'm saying? So my whole life journey, that's why my slogan, embrace the journey's life and everything that comes with it. It comes from my journey. You know what I'm saying? Moving around a lot, struggling in school, but always achieving your dreams. I come from every circumstance that black people come from. Single parent home, drug addicted father, all my cousins sold drugs, majority of them, you know what I'm saying, or got regular jobs. All my aunts and uncles, they were pimps in the 70s, became drug addicts in the 80s. Like, that's where I come from, you know what I'm saying? So I was the first college graduate. So I was always like, yo, I want to be different. You know what I'm saying? I could have always chose the other route, you know what I'm saying? But parents being Black Panthers, like, I got Black pride. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my ancestors didn't fight for me to just sell drugs or be a street dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easy way out. So, you know, I don't like to say it on camera, but that's what we quote unquote think the real niggas is, you know what I'm saying? But the real niggas is the one that makes it out the legit way.
There you go.
It takes the obstacles, you know, those the real ones.
Yeah.
But we look at those, you know what I'm saying, as, oh, well, you know, you just sports, or you just, you know, you square, or maybe not us, but that's how we looked at college dudes growing up. Especially if you didn't play sports. Right. Only square black dudes went to college if you wasn't on a scholarship. So, you know, that was the whole journey. So then now you figure out, like, basketball ain't it. I like what I'm doing. Kids gravitate to me. I got a story. I relate to every kid. And it was like, yo, maybe your life journey was to save others. And basketball was never your calling. It was just to keep you focused, to get you out. So then once I decided I didn't want to hoop no more injuries. Preserved. That's why I'm nice now.
So that's funny. So now that you say, you know, you doing it now, you hoop for a love now. You know what I mean? Instead of you was trying to reach this, I'm trying to get there. You know, now your game is much more. Would you say even better?
Yeah. It's definitely better. It's slow, and then, you know, I'm from the era of contact. You know what I'm saying? Hand checking. They don't touch nobody no more. Like, don't nobody box out. Don't nobody hedge on screens no more. You know, everything is a switch. Like, it's easy. So it's like, and it's so slow because you don't play so much basketball. Like, even when we play in the hoop league, these dudes in college, I don't even really hoop like that. I just work out so much, but I play so much basketball, like, I see everything before they see it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to transition into the nonprofit and helping kids through everything I went through, academics, mentoring, talking to kids about evolving through their circumstances, and then helping athletes with basketball, more of a basketball IQ, rather than just regular skills training, like, why are you making this move, understanding where the defense is. Like, that's how I play basketball now. If you notice, I really only do 4 or 5 things. I just do everything that I practiced for so many years, because I don't hoop. So I know if the game close, I'm going to get to this spot. I'm always going to go to the post when the game close. And I'm going to get to the mid-range, and all I want to do is do a little jab step, see which every play. I'm going to do a step back and fade away. And you ain't going to be able to block it. It's either I'm going to make it or miss it. You know what I mean? So that's how I go.
Yeah, you keep it very simple and
sweet. Yeah, that's how I go.
So let's talk about what you do with the mental health. Who do you reach out to with that? Is it everybody? Who is it?
It's more so people that's diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, mood disorders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more than an athlete, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really a black dude from around the way that's, like, articulate, you know what I'm saying? That's helping people, and I got a real career, you know what I'm saying? I walk around urban looking, and people always know I do workouts, but, like, I got, like, a real career, you know what I'm saying? So it's something, but I've been in mental health is my whole family. Like, we don't even realize how most people have mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but we know how to handle day-to-day circumstances better than the people I work with. But most people got mood disorder. Most people bipolar. Most people, like, you see them one day, but the thing that most people have is, like I say, the mood disorder. One day you like this, the next day you like that. You ain't no different from my clients. It's just you know how to go through day-to-day life, so you think you're normal. Most of us struggle. That's why, even with the gym, that's part of a form of me doing therapy. So my fitness is more than just fitness. I talk to them about what they got going on, how to change their mindset, what career goals they doing, ways to turn it into financial freedom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's deeper than fitness, but it's just another component of the brand.
Wow. You know? So you tying the fitness and the mental health. You say that?
Yeah. So you tie the fitness with the mental health, because what do we do when life is hard? We party, we drink, we want to take trips. I need to escape. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
But that's just a Band-Aid. When you ain't
really dealing with it.
It ain't nothing therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? But when you tap into the fitness, and you're able to take your frustrations out through fitness. You're able to change your, create discipline for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I go, look, when they can't find that lighter.
Boy, see me looking for that mother. God damn.
No, but you know what I'm saying? It creates discipline. So I always tell people getting into your fitness is a domino effect to your life. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of what basketball was for me at first. So even when you say playing basketball now, I do so much stuff. Basketball has always been my outlet. With all the moving, everything, the only thing that was consistent was hooping. So even with my mom, like wherever we lived at, she made sure a basketball court was walking distance. You make sure you got 2 bathrooms.
Damn right.
My mom be like, how close is the court? You know what I'm saying? Like,
make sure I gotta get Mel out there.
He gonna walk. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna walk to that court, ride that bike. So basketball has always been the outlet. So I still hoop. That's my therapeutic outlet.
Yeah.
So sometimes people think I post videos on hooping because I'm still dreaming of this and that. Like,
this is what
that's
I
the only
do.
time my brain ain't running.
Right.
Like that's why you always see me. You ever notice I'm always smiling and talking?
Hell yeah.
That's the only time I'm free. Other than that, I'm thinking about business. I'm thinking about, I do mental health. I train about 18 to 24 people 3 times a week.
Right.
See my clients. I'm like a son, husband. You know what I'm saying? Pop's dead, so I'm gonna take my mom to work, pick her up from work. You know what I'm saying? People don't even know I got custody of my little cousin.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I still go to the gym twice a day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's even in. It's still
now, how's that? You know what I mean? And stepping in and do that role.
What, going for myself?
No, I'm saying the custody of your,
Oh, I mean, it's family, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding that the circumstances he in, it ain't his fault. So it's about trying to save him. I can't be out here trying to help everybody else in Portsmouth in the 757, and then you got family members in the same situation. So
that's real.
You know what I mean? That's part of my brand of trying to build a nonprofit. I got about 18 little cousins in Portsmouth. So if I could build something through my nonprofit where kids come to, even with that, I could get 12, 13 of them to be part of it. I don't even need no regular people. I could just make the nonprofit for my family. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a bonus, you know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win for everybody.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So how was it, how was it, dealing with your father, not being here anymore? How was that?
It was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been big on death, like death is cool, you know what I'm saying? I was just proud that he had spent 7 years clean.
Wow.
And was able to, the nonprofit that I do is actually his nonprofit. Like, so what's crazy is when I was in college from 22 to 29, he died when I was 29, we talked every day. So he did more parenting in them 7 years than he did in 22.
Wow.
So his parenting in the first 22 was more of, this is what not to do. This is the struggles, this is the joint. And it taught me that you can't worry about what people say, because I could go on the internet and read a whole bunch of stories about my pops that ain't true. So his life shaped my life, you know what I'm saying, to go the right way. What's the saying? What's the saying Einstein said? A smart person learns from others' mistakes. A smart person learns from their own mistakes. A wise person learns from others. Like, I ain't got to learn through no mistakes. That's why I ain't never made no mistake.
You can see it.
I already know what's coming from around the way. You know what I'm saying? So that's it goes back to that's the definition of a real nigga.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I've been through all the circumstances, dice games, round drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to wiggle your way through. So that's what I'm trying to teach the kids. Like, you could do it, dog.
Yeah.
Trust me, dog. No matter what, you could do it.
You can keep pushing.
Yeah.
That shit real though. But you say some other shit, like you said some real shit. You say death is cool. What do you mean by that? Like you understand it?
Yeah, I understand it. Like, at the end of the day, man, we black. We grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? So if you live your life righteously, you know what I'm saying, we all sin, so he ain't tripping off of that. But if you have a relationship with the Lord, when you die, you in a better place. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel bad for older people that die. Because, like, my pops died at 62. Man, he lived a great life and a hard life, but he did things that nobody else can say they experienced.
Right.
Like, he good. You know what I'm saying? Only issue is I never really got to talk to him as a man, because, you know what I mean, the last 2 years, what people don't even know, my pops actually ended up relapsing. So he actually OD'd, you know what I'm saying? But he spent 7 years clean with the nonprofit, and he changed about 400 or 500 kids' lives. So that was how it ended. And, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is to, like, keep it going, but add more to it. Like, put my journey into the nonprofit because all he did was basketball camps and like mentoring at schools. So like I'm trying to do the after school programs. I'm trying to do vocational counseling, GED, SET prep, mentoring, group mentoring, one-on-one, basketball skills training, you know what I'm saying, boxing training, just more avenues.
How you handle all this, man? How do you handle it?
Hey, look, we grind. Like, my whole life been a grind. That's how I go. Like, it's nothing new, but this is everything that I envisioned. Like, literally, everything is going as planned. It's just, it's always the longer route. But when you're a black man, single parent home, everything the longer route. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what gets us. We don't have enough strength to withstand it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to withstand it and then teach the youth and let them see somebody, because we see, it's like we only see the guys that make it. So if you made it and you come back, everybody gravitates, but majority don't. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be the ones to make an impact. So I want to make an impact on the youth so then one day they could come back and do that. That's how we break the code. You know what I'm saying? Trying to break the cycle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We think only the Meek Mills and the Jay-Z's, like, it's levels to it, dog. Like, this is the trenches. Like, we need everybody to do that. But, you know, you gotta be able to do it. We from around the way. So you gotta be able to do it, but also make some money. So it's like, but we ain't doing it for the money. It's just that comes with it.
Right. You need it.
You know what I'm saying? It comes with it. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's about the impact.
Let's talk about, because I know you big on these athletes and, you know, them wanting to move on, because you know how it's hard for these guys to, you know, move on from like, damn, I didn't make it to the NBA, I didn't make it to the NFL. What are you trying to do to help guys with that?
Man, I'm trying to teach them that, I guess, like they told us, we student athletes first. Like, what is life after basketball, football? You know what I'm saying? So even the guys in the NBA, like, what people don't realize that 70% of NBA players go broke 5 years after they playing. So, you know what I mean? You're just trying to teach people that everybody ain't gonna make it. So what are you gonna do to go further in life? Why don't you use your talents to get that degree? Right. That's what I tell kids. Every kid that I talk to is going to college. I say, man, get the degree, man.
Right.
Focus on the degree, because that's going to be there longer than sports. You never know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to do that school part first.
When was the point that you realized, all right, I need to focus more on school than the basketball?
When I got low SAT scores, then I took, you know, I went to JUCO, so then we had to do the placement test. Score low in that. Yeah. So I ended up, actually, my first year of college, it was like 13th grade. So I was in like 001.
Yeah, you doing a bunch
English,
of goddamn, you doing general studies.
Yeah, but the best thing ever, dog, it changed my whole life.
Right.
That's how I learned my learning curve. I actually learned once I went to JUCO. Because the classrooms were smaller. Right. You know what I'm saying? The professors was more engaged because the classroom was smaller. They have more of a, I want to teach y'all. So real talk, like I ended up, that's why I learned English, how to write correctly, math, all that.
Wow, so it took you to get to JUCO.
Yeah. And then I ended up graduating college with a 3.5. Wow. And 2 degrees. The same dude, I spent 5 years in middle school. And it wasn't because I was slow. I moved around a lot. So if you can't move around and not already be barely on grade level and then have the stuff going on at home. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
you were dealing with the trinity of shit.
Yeah. So then when you do that, so that's what I'm saying. When you deal with the kids and when I do talks, like they listen. You know what I'm saying? They do talks, they listen. You know what I'm saying? Because they can relate. Like it ain't. You looking at a person you looking at a person that was just like you, dog. Like real. I cheated on I changed my grade on all progress reports.
Oh, you was a forger.
Yeah, that's when they was in pencil.
Forging George.
They used to be in pencil, man.
I was a forging George one day.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm changing that F to a B, and then make sure by the time the next 6 weeks come, I have a D or a C.
Got to.
That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Up the ante.
Look, they messed us up when they made them joints with the typewriter. I was like, God. I used to still change it and put the teacher's signature and issues on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, she got a mistake. I really got a D. You know what I'm saying? Whole time I got.
He gonna tell his mom right now.
You know what I'm saying? She ain't believe it. You know she won't go for it.
They ain't buying that shit. We say anything to get that ass whooping out of there.
Yeah, but, you know, it's just about teaching the kids that, man, teaching them, like, where you at right now isn't who you maybe meant to be. You know what I'm saying? It's just the circumstances you in. So you got to embrace that journey. But you got to be strong. You know what I'm saying?
Tough. That's tough because some people can't see it. You know what I mean? That's tough. How do you get to someone to see it for themselves?
It's hard, and I understand that I was blessed. It goes back to what I said of living 2 lives. Them times when my pops was clean, I was able to see a different side of the world. You know what I'm saying? Most of us, outside of those 27 months, I didn't. So I think about the rest of the people, all the little ones in Portsmouth, Norfolk, Newport News. They ain't had that opportunity, so they never seen it.
That's
so
real.
You don't believe. So if I'd never seen that, all I would think was, everybody in my family really sell drugs or use drugs or get a job. You know what I'm saying? But seeing that and then living that is like, nah, I want more. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be the one to go to college. I'm going to be the one to break this cycle. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about generational curses. And I had a lot of curses over my, you know what I'm saying, on me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's what I tell the kids. Circumstances you in, it ain't even your fault. Sometimes it's in your DNA. And then we all grow up in a single parent home, right?
Yeah.
Your DNA is probably your dad's. But you don't know your dad.
Think about that.
Your mom don't understand what's wrong with you. And then you factor in when your mom has issues with you, a lot of the issues is because she see your dad in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it'd be an imbalance. So I was blessed also to have a mom that won't like that. A mom that was like, yeah, nah, you going to college. She was telling me I was going to college when I was failing. And I was like, I don't know what college she talking about. But my whole life she told me I was going to college. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to college, was actually the first time she told me she loved me. And then I got to the stop sign and I was like, yo, that's weird. Like my mom, I don't know if you've seen the videos of my mom. She a real one. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, my mom don't talk like that. And I was like, yo, she really proud. Because this was what she told me my whole life. And I was like, yeah. So even when I went through that joint, going back to the JUCO, my pops relapsing, me working at UPS. My mom now had to move in with my grandparents so she could pay the rent where I was at. Because, you know, JUCO, we ain't had no athletics. We ain't We just had academic scholarships. So she moved out. She like, nah, you stay in the school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got to get a job. So that's why that off season, that's when I became that All-American. I still got the shoe. You know what I'm saying? I put the trap, just like I got on my neck. Like, that's what we call my grandma's house, the trap. And I played every game. Like, yo, I got to get a scholarship. Because if not, my mom can't keep paying $500. You know what I'm saying? So when I stepped on that court, them joints, it's like, yo, I'm playing for a scholarship. And got that 2010 and 6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 4 buzzer beaters. I think like 6 games, 30 plus.
Oh, you was going off.
Yeah, I think I had my best game was against Baltimore Community College. We had about 11 schools there. You know what I'm saying? And went into double overtime. Played the whole game. I ended up with like 27, 17, 14, 7 steals.
Going stupid.
Yeah, like, I was like, nah, we here, dog. We playing with heart.
You was in your zone.
Yeah, and then that's when more so I started telling people who my pops was in college. That's another thing. Like my JUCO coach is the one that started that. I was like, why you always telling my dad played in the NBA? He was like, man, look, they believe in DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's like,
go.
so then I realized like, oh, all this is marketing.
Oh, yeah.
So even in what I do now, like these experiences going through journeys created everything I do now. So even as like the marketing with the social media and using that as a plan. Another thing, if you on social media and you ain't trying to make no money,
fact,
you wasting your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just up there playing.
Right. It's a lot of shit you can do.
Yeah, man. Like that's where it's at.
So how was that though? You say you ain't hearing, you know, your first time hearing mom say you love you. How was that moving through life like that?
Oh, it was cool. Because
you seen the love, but you're not hearing.
Yeah, she just wasn't. You know, she was putting that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like she had to be that. You know, that's one of the issues we have with our women today. They're forced to be in that masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just she just wasn't that type. You know what I'm saying? But her actions, I never was the one to grow like my mama don't love. I knew she worked 2 jobs my whole life. But what's crazy is my pops is the one to show love. Even when he was high, he'd be like, you know, I love you, right? High as I don't know what, but he was the one who told me he loved me. Don't be like, he used to always tell me like, you stronger than me. And then when I got older, I realized what he meant because I've been going to AA meetings since I was like 8. So even then, going back to embracing the journey, understanding life, when you go to AA meetings from 8 to 16, like I'm going whenever. So like I say, he always relapses, so I'm always going. That was our relationship. Like our relationship was his recovery. So he used to try to stay clean for me. You know what I'm saying? But them demons, you know what I'm saying? So I used to go to AA meetings, and then you go to AA meetings and you hear these stories from grown men talking about they had this and they lost this, they lost their family. Yeah. You be like, yo, life is full of ups and downs. So that's how I look at it. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna be all right.
Right.
But then that's another thing that helps with the culture. A lot of us don't achieve nothing. We don't accomplish. We start something, but we don't finish.
Right.
So we actually don't realize that we don't believe that we could do things because we never accomplish nothing. We might have good ideas, we may talk about it, but we never accomplish. But once you start accomplishing things, you realize you can do anything. That goes back to fitness. If you get the discipline, you work on your health, if you change your eating habits, the generational curses we have of eating, you know what I'm saying, you change your lifestyle, you realize you could do it. Domino effect outside the gym. You understand, like, you know what, I can go through this process of this journey because I did it with my weight. I lost 60 pounds, I lost 50 pounds, or I was 170 pounds, now I'm 220. Like, it's just gonna take time. And you gotta go through it. You're gonna have your ups and downs, especially when you're losing weight. You're gonna lose weight, put it back on. Lose weight, put it back on. Then you figure it out, and now you get addicted to the lifestyle, and you're a whole new person. Now you look at life different. So that's part of the therapy for the regular people. So it seems like I'm doing a lot, but it's all one spectrum. It's just helping all layers of people. Kids, mental health people, and adults. And then the community. It's all
tied in.
Yeah, it's all tied in.
So what's next for the Boogie Fresh Mel Johnson? What's next for you, brother?
Man, we trying to transition to full entrepreneurship, like seriously, and then really taking this nonprofit outright. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to transition to letting my companies work for themselves and then fully do the nonprofit. Like, that's the goal. Still gonna be like 3-5 years, because you, like Ross said, when you building a brand, you gotta put 10 years on it. But I done put 38 on it, but this is like really the first year of full financial freedom. So it's like, I got a lot in storage, you know what I'm saying? Like, own facility, own gym, start my own leagues, you know what I'm saying? Really helping the community. I got some programs that I got, you know what I'm saying, that people can help me with eventually. You know what I'm saying? I'm from around the way, I know what the kids need, so I don't want to put too much out. I'm going to copyright it, make sure nobody steal my idea.
Right, you got to, these motherfuckers.
You know what I'm saying? But
trademarks and all.
Yeah, I got a program through my nonprofit. It's going to help kids with reading called Literacy for Laces.
Literacy for Laces.
Yeah, so I'm going to have kids read a book, and then you got to take a questionnaire at the end. If you get 80% out of 20 questions, we get you a pair of shoes. But we ain't getting no Vans and Converse. You know what I'm saying? We from around the way. You know what I'm saying? We getting shoes that you really want. We gonna get you Jordan 1s, the 3s, the 10, some Kyries, Tims, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then we gonna help the community with the kids. Like, I understand what these kids need.
Right.
So even then, putting the pressure, trying to teach these boys to become men. Like, look, you got a 2.3. You sign a contract with your parents. You come to these programs, this mentorship. You take that 2.3, or you take that 1.8 and you make it a 2.2. You pay your mom's water bill for 2 months. Like, you helping the fam. You know how it go. We grow up, we the only boys. You be the man of the house. I was the man of the house at 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, should be real, bro.
So now you put them in a position where, that's why I didn't play football so much. I only played my senior year. And then look at all those scholarships. Because, like, I got to work. Mom Dukes don't buy no shoes over $75. Like, nigga, I'm wearing Jordans and throwbacks. Like, so I had to sacrifice what actually probably would have made us millions of dollars, because I'm worried about the wrong things. I'm worried about making sure that I got these Jordans and throwbacks rather than being who I was, a full athlete. But then that goes back to the curses we have, because guess what? If Pops was around, I wouldn't have to work. Then I would play football. So that ain't my fault. Even though it's my fault, because I could have just said sacrifice, but it ain't my fault. It's a generational curse. It's a domino effect. What you do affects something else. So that's how it go.
Wow, that shit real. That shit real.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to tell you, man, I appreciate you on my show. I had to have you on my show because, I seen you, in the Hoop League a couple of years when I started doing it, man. I was
that's what we should. That's what we need to talk about, the Hoop League.
This nigga here.
We gonna run it back.
Nah, we could. Yeah,
See,
we definitely.
We was messed up this year.
Yeah, we definitely because I got a Hoop League stuff, so I'm gonna say that.
Yeah,
for
say
you,
that. All right.
I gotta
start that conversation.
Yeah.
So it gets spicy this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm about to retire.
I'm gonna be out there.
Hey, I'm about to retire, so.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. Everybody need to play.
That's in the mix. We're gonna have y'all coming. We're gonna talk that talk. We even gonna. I want to do something for the preseason, like right before it starts.
Yeah, we almost 40. It's about time to hang it up.
So you coming out big or something?
Man, listen, I'm hooping this summer.
You gotta get on it. Yeah, you gotta.
I got to go out with a bang. I ain't lying to you. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's gonna be big. I've been seeing you out there, and I was just like, dog, this nigga nice. This nigga here, you everything. Like you said, you do a lot of moves. You do everything, bro. Like whatever they ask for you, you do it for the vets, bro. I thought y'all was gonna win it that year before last too. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, and y'all did bring it.
Yeah, we won it and then we lost this year.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
but we, Ray was hurt. People, he factored in things. We missing people. Miles missed a lot of games. Yeah, had like 4 or 5 new young boys.
Yeah, y'all did.
Like, it's just a little different. And then we won the championship, so we got everybody's best.
You did.
I was like, yo, Dame won't playing like that. When I seen him, like we played like.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
it was. So this year you gotta give him something.
Don't worry, we coming back strong.
But I definitely appreciate you on my show, bro. It's always, a pleasure to have a guy like you. You my guy.
Definitely.
Boogie Fresh, Mel Johnson, it's been a pleasure, brother. It's Homage to Hoops, man. It's been episode 8. Homage to Hoops, man. Another one in the books. Well, hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? Must achieve greatness on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, man. This is Homage to Hoops. We appreciate you.
We were young. We ain't know no better. Adolescents, As we grew, now it's grown to something bigger. And I love it and I can respect it. Now we all just entrepreneurs and trying to build our brand. MAG it's a brand, The acronym must achieve greatness. Striving for greatness.
King shit.